Hey, what is up guys? This is Anthony, aka BatBomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the Flash and Arrow 2-pack from DC Collectibles. Now taking a look at the front, we can see that the figures are showcased in a window box packaging. Turning the box around, we can see the Flash and Arrow showcased on the backside of the packaging. We could also see a few other figures from the CW television series lineup. So with the box out of the way, let's crack these figures open and see what we have inside. And here is the Flash and Arrow out of the box. And man, I must say, these figures are okay. They do look pretty cool in some regards as far as their aesthetics, but overall, they lack in certain areas like their articulation, few paint apps, and very soft face sculpts. But before we take a closer look at the figures, let's take a look at the accessories. Starting off with the Flash, he does come with several accessories. First up, he comes with two interchangeable heads, including a masked head and a Barry Allen head. He also comes with a down cowl to hang around his neck, a pair of running hands, a pair of open palm hands, and a pair of closed-fisted hands. Next up, we have Arrow's accessories, starting off with his bow, a pair of closed-fisted hands, and two different pairs of hands for holding his bow and arrows. We also get three different types of arrows. So with the accessories out of the way, let's take a closer look at the Flash and Arrow. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at the Flash and Green Arrow. So first, I'm actually going to start with the Flash. Now, I don't own the first version of this figure, so I'm not sure if this is just a repack. It could be, I think I remember handling the older version, but I'm really not sure if there are any major differences. Like, I really don't remember there being double jointed knees like this, and this one feels slimmer, so I mean I could be wrong, and this could be just a straight up repack, but overall it still looks okay. I do like the fact that we're getting the alternate head as far as with like the Barry Allen head, which is pretty cool, so that's pretty decent. So I think that's the major selling point for this 2-pack, because I think both of these figures have been previously released. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. But overall, this is pretty cool. I do like the sculpting detail of it. The paint apps are, pretty basic, what you would think. You can see like there's actually a darker wash right here in some of the leather sections of the suit, right around his pants and whatnot, even down to his boots. And on his mask, you can see it's a dark red, but there is a black wash in there to, I guess, really bring out the sculpt a bit. And it looks pretty good. You can see the two-toning of the reds, more of a flat and a darker like leather type of material. All the golds for the striping, for like the lightnings, that came out really clean. I think they look pretty good. The lightning bolt came out pretty decent for the most part. Now the mask head I think is pretty good. My complaint is that his lips look way too dark in my opinion. I don't know, it kind of looks like he's wearing lipstick to me. That might look a little different on camera, but in person it just looks a little odd. And it's hard to tell, but around the eyes too, there seems be a little bit too much pink under his eyes. So he kind of looks like he's stoned. So that's a little weird. But overall it looks pretty cool. Now the head is on a ball peg. It can be a little tricky. Let me see if I can get this off here without... Oh, there we go. So just like that. One thing I did notice, I don't really know if this is new or if DC Collectibles starting to utilize this, but you can see kind of I guess little indentations or little, I don't know what these are, like little spots there around the ball peg itself. Now I think that's to prevent the suction from the cup of the head from getting it stuck, so that the head doesn't come stand there too tight. So that's pretty, I think that's new. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that before on a figure. Oh, but you do have a cowl piece, a down cowl piece, so you just put that over the neck before you do that, and then you can just put on the Barry Allen head just like that, and I think that looks okay. I like the fact that we're getting the Barry Allen head, but to be honest, the likeness is just not there. It's very flat, very bland. It kind of looks generic for the most part. Again, those eyebrows to me are just way too thick and dark. I don't know if you could tell on mine, but there is some type of, I don't know what it is, like a black smudge on the nose. You can kind of see it right there a bit. Yeah, that's just not good. And again with him, I think the lips are just too dark. I don't know what happened there, but again, it looks like he's just wearing some type of lipstick, which is a little odd. But I mean, I guess it's okay for what it is. So let's take a look at the articulation on this guy real quick. Oh, I'm sorry, before that, the hands are also interchangeable, and those are on little ball pegs as well, and those come up pretty easy. I did notice right out of the box they were very tight. So I had to hold the wrists under some running water to loosen them up a bit to get them, but once I did, they're a lot easier to interchange, so okay. So the head is on the ball joint, rolls around just like that, looks up and down, rotates left and right, and arms can go all the way up and down and out about that far. We get a single bend at the elbow, goes up about that much, as well as rotation at the elbow. The hands are on those ball pegs, so they rotate just like that, as well as hinge up and down. We do get an ab cut, ab crunch right here, or upper torso cut, allows it to crunch forward, back and forth about that much, pivot side to side, as well as rotate a bit just like that, which is pretty good. We get these awkward hip joints that DC likes to use, but he can only go kick out about that much, so he can't really do the splits. He can kick forward about that much, back even more so. It's always odd when a figure can kick back more than he can kick forward, so that's really weird. I do have a thigh cut. Let's rotate left and right. Double jointed knees, just like that, but that's such an awkward joint. I mean, that does not look good at all to me, so very ugly in my opinion. I do get a boot cut, allows it to rotate left and right just like that. You can point the toe up and down, no rotation, but we do get an ankle rocker in there. So he's pretty cool. I think for the most part, you really only get this figure to have the option to display the Flash with the Barry Allen head. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at Arrow here. I think he's definitely the better figure from this 2-pack. The Flash to me seems kind of bland. I think this guy looks pretty damn cool, to be honest. Again, with the facial features, it doesn't really look a whole lot like the actor. It kind of just seems generic to me. Yeah, I don't really see a whole lot in there, but I mean, it still looks cool, you know, and he does have a mask on and the hood and whatnot. So, I mean, you can kind of get away with it, and that when you have it the light down, you kind of just see the shadow kind of casting over the eyes. So, I mean, you can get away with that. It's not too terrible. But the suit is really cool. I love just the look of this design for Green Arrow. All the silver studs and zippers and things like that look very cool. I like this design quite a bit. I love the black and green two-tones, look really cool. Just the leather straps and buckles and armor plates and things like that look very nice. I like this a lot. You can even see some sculpted detailing in the black area right there, which is really cool. But I do like this figure quite a bit. I definitely like it more than the Flash figure. You know, really nice boots. I think those look really cool. Some arrow butt right there for you guys. You get some little spare arrows, but those are part of the sculpt, so those are non-removable. And I do like his quiver quite a bit. One thing I will say about the quiver, though, it doesn't look really good. You see a little arrow logo right there. It's pretty big. But the thing is, he only comes with these 3 arrows, so you put them in there, and yeah, I mean, it's not really a complaint, but I kind of wish he came with either more arrows or maybe some like dummy arrows, just like a chunk of dummy arrows you could put inside there, because yeah, it looks like it'd hold a lot more, but it is what it is. The hood looks great. I love little markings right there. I mean, this looks way cooler than the Flash figure, so I'm really stoked to have this one in hand. Looks so badass, I think. Now, he does come with his bow, which is pretty cool. I do like this accessory a lot. With a lot of bows nowadays, we don't get an actual string, so we actually have string for this one, and it actually semi-functions, which is pretty cool. Another cool thing is that there's actually a slot right in here to hold the arrows in place like that, so when you're posing them around, which is pretty cool. Now what you want to do, let me take this off right here. I already have his gripping hands for that, so we can pop that on there, just like so. Let me get that lined up. Can I do it without, there we go. Pretty cool. And then what you do, he does have these little fingers like that. You can actually grip the string and the arrow. So what you do is you kind of bring the string back like that. I'm totally messing this up, aren't I? So you kind of get the string kind of like that. Works pretty cool. And then you take an arrow and then stick it in that section right there. And then you pull the arrow back and stick the feather of the arrow between the fingers like that, like so. There you go, see? And it holds, and you can actually get the good arrow, bow and arrow poses with that. So I think that's pretty cool. So, and I do love the sculpt and the paint of this. I think that's one of the better bows that we've seen for a Green Arrow figure, or just pretty much any figure. I think that's really cool. I like that a lot. So let's look at articulation for this guy. The head is on a ball joint, but since it has that hood, you can't do a whole lot. So he can turn left and right, but he'll kind of be looking into his hood, you know, and that's okay. He can look up a little bit, down just a little bit. Arms go up and down, out about that far. Single bend at the elbow, rotation at the elbow. The hands are on ball pegs, or excuse me, straight pegs, just like that. You can stick bent back in, so they rotate as well as hinge up and down. We do get an ab cut right there, so that allows it to rotate left and right, crunch forward just a little bit, and then pivot side to side just a bit too. Can't kick forward about that much, back about that much. Can do the splits even more so than the Flash, which is pretty cool. No thigh cut whatsoever, which is a little weird because I kind of feel like they could have hit a thigh cut in there. We got double jointed knees that work a lot better and look a lot better than the Flash, so that's pretty cool. No boot cut, and we do have ankle joints. Works better on this one. This one seems to be really tight and stuck, but this one we can point the toe up and down, and a really good ankle rocker in there. So overall for this guy, he's, in my opinion, the better figure of the two, but you're really going to get this set for the Flash because of the Barry Allen head. So hey, if you don't have these figures at all yet, say you missed the first run of these two figures, the single packs, I think this is definitely the best way to go for getting both these figures. But keep in mind that they do have a lot of problems. I think some of the sculpt is a little off and the articulation is a little off, but overall they're not too bad. So for a quick size comparison, here they are standing next to a Marvel Legends Captain America figure, as well as a DCUC Batman figure. And just for fun, here they are sitting next to little Lego Bat-Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the Flash and Arrow 2-pack from DC Collectibles. Now overall, I think this is a decent set. They do look pretty cool when they're posed on a shelf. But with areas lacking in articulation and really terrible face sculpts really brings this pack down a notch. If you don't have the original releases of these two figures, then I think this is probably the best way to get both of these figures from the great television series that you love. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.